Open your feet up wider than hip width. Put your inner knees together and just relax back onto the mat. Go ahead and close your eyes. And with your eyes closed, just begin to relax into this place of surrender, of stillness, and also the opportunity to hear and connect with nature. Feel yourself letting go of your thoughts and your to-do list. That ability to let go of all that came before and all that will come after. Feel the jaw soften. Allow yourself to take some deeper, relaxing breaths, feeling each part of your body soften. If you have tension in the shoulders, feel as you exhale, that tension melts off the body and into the mat. But as you become a little more grounded, I want you to feel your body connecting you to the mat. Feel the inner knees touching, the back of the head resting on the earth. And this month our focus is Ujjayi breathing. So start to bring that deeper breath into your body. And then if you already know the Ujjayi breath, take your breath to Ujjayi. If you're not familiar with the Ujjayi breathing, inhale the air against the back of your throat to the spot where you would gargle water. And then when you exhale, feel like you're fogging a mirror, but your lips stay sealed. Your hands are on your belly. Feel the rise and fall of your stomach. The muscles soften on the inhale, and they can tighten up on that exhale. Imagine you hear the sound of the ocean with your breath. Go ahead and take this deep Ujjayi breath 2 more times, and you can either continue with Ujjayi or move into a normal pace of your breath. If you'd like, you can release your hands to the mat, heel-toe your feet in line with your hips, and just bring some alignment from the hips, knees to ankles now. And then let's slowly bring the right knee in towards the chest. That single wind press. And then if you'd like, slide your left leg out nice and long, pushing through both heels or relaxing the feet, whatever feels best for you. Slowly extend that right leg up to the sky and give a point and flex of that foot. And then when you're ready, circle that ankle around in one direction, and then circle it around in the other. Come back into that hamstring stretch, whether you hold at the hamstring or the calf. Let your shoulders relax to the earth. Go ahead and bend that left knee and cross your right ankle over the thigh for figure 4. And either leave your foot on the mat, float the knee over the hip, or reach and hold that left hamstring. Good, very nice. Keeping the head, neck, and shoulders on the mat. Take a release and stack the knees over the hips. Open the arms out to the letter T and roll the hips and knees to the left with the option of turning and looking to the right. You're welcome to stay in figure 4, or you're welcome to stack the knees, whatever feels best for you. If you're in that figure 4, make sure that right knee is aiming up to the sky. Inhale, bring the legs back to center. Release the right foot down to the earth. Hug the left shin into your body. So we're just going to switch legs on that. First, that single wind press. And you can keep the right knee bent, and you can slide that leg out nice and long. And when you're ready, come into that hamstring stretch, sending that left leg to the sky. Again, holding the hamstring or the calf, avoid the back of that knee. And while you're here, give a point and flex of the foot a few times, working through the ankle. And then roll the ankle in one direction, roll the ankle in the other. Come back to that hamstring stretch. Moving into figure 4, bend the right knee, cross the left ankle over. Either stay in figure 4, reclining pigeon, knee over hip, or holding that right hamstring, deepening that stretch. We open the arms out to the letter T. And again, you're welcome to stay in figure 4 or stack the knees as you roll the hips and knees to the right with a turn and look to the left. Slowly release your twist, come back to center, hug both legs into the body. And as you move into bridge pose, set your feet on the earth, release your arms to the mat. I want you to make sure you're pressing into the back of your arms and your shoulder blades, not the back of the head. So if you want to move your feet a little bit closer, make sure your middle fingers can scrape the heels. And then inhale, lift your hips up to the sky for bridge. Exhale, lower those hips back down. And continue to move with your breath. Your inhale is the hips rising to the sky. Your exhale is lowering them back down to the earth. Continue to do this 4 more times. Good. When you finish your last bridge, we're going to add some flow to it. So you're going to activate your arms with this pose as well. So leave your arms on the mat as you inhale, lift the hips to the sky. And when you exhale, lower your hips and stretch the arms overhead. We lift the hips as our hands come back down to the earth. We lower the hips as they stretch overhead. 4 more just like this. Squeezing those inner thighs. Using the glutes to help lift the hips to the sun. And again, always finding the pace to match your own breath. When you finish your last bridge, your arms are going to be over the head with your hips down. Go ahead and bring your fingertips to temples. Let's warm up our mighty core. On an exhale, just a crunch up. Inhale, return back to the mat. Elbows stay wide, and just slide your ribs towards your hips. We might all end up sunburned after this practice, right? 1 more here. Go back into figure 4, cross your right ankle over the left thigh. But let's work those obliques, so bring your left shoulder towards that right knee. Exhale, come across. Inhale, release. Good. You're welcome to leave your left foot on the mat, or you can lift that foot and still crunch with the legs elevated now. Take 2 more. When you come back to center, release, uncross. Take your left ankle across the right thigh, and then add the twist. Yeah. Come across and center. Good. With the option of lifting that right knee, deepening that twist. Good. Bring that shoulder towards the knee. One more time. And as you release, hug both shins into the body and give a little rock across your back. And if you're protecting a back, roll to one side to come up. Otherwise, rock yourself up. Yeah, and let's meet in table. Come to all fours. So finding your alignment, opening your hands under your shoulders, opening your knees under your hips, and let's move through some cat and cow. Exhale, round the back, tuck the chin and tailbone. Inhale, arch the back, lift forehead. Good. If you want to add in some feet, or go ahead and turn your toes under, press your toes into the mat when you go into cat, and then release your toes when you go into cow. And it's just another element to add to your practice. Yeah. Let's go ahead and do this one more time. And as you come back into that neutral spine of table, turn your toes under. Walk your hands back towards your knees. So we're going to stretch the soles of our feet. And you're welcome to stay right here. You're going to walk your hands up your thighs, stopping at any point or stacking your shoulders over your hips. You can bring the hands to the heart. Yeah. I promise your toes won't fall off. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, come back down. Good. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, come back down. One more time, but we're going to rise up and hold. And for that gate stretch, step your left foot out to the side. Push your hips forward and take a nice big side stretch here. Yeah. As you rise up nice and tall, hinge forward. We're coming into a half spinal balance. Pick this leg up and draw it around. If you would like, stay here or bend the knee. You can add on by lifting the right hand and circling around and maybe grabbing your foot for a little quad stretch. Yeah. Looking to the floor will give you better balance. If you want to challenge your balance, look over your shoulder. Go ahead and release. Keep those toes turned under. Let's do the same thing. Walk your hands back to your knees. Find your level of comfort, whether you're coming up the thighs or stacking your shoulders over your hips. And then from here, inhale, rise up. Good. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release. Rise up and hold. Go ahead and step that right foot out. Be careful of your hips hinging behind your knee. Push your hips forward, and then that big side stretch. Yeah. Good. So you come back up nice and tall. Hinge forward. This half spinal balance. Pick the right leg up, bring it around. You're welcome to stay right here or bend the knee. You're welcome to stay here or circle the left arm around. Whether you find the foot or not, it doesn't matter. Remember, drishti, eye gaze matters. So looking to the floor will give you better balance than looking to the side or over your shoulder. When you release, meet me in child's pose, sending those hips towards those heels. Understand, child's pose is your active rest. So if at any time throughout our practice you need to come here, especially with the sun beating down on us, you may need a few more breaks than you normally would if you were in class. So let's reach the arms out nice and long, and we're going to go into our soldier work, and this is going to be to fire up our back. Inhale forward into kneeling plank. Exhale, come all the way down to the mat. We're going to stack the right hand on top of the left, glue our forehead to our hand. Your left arm and your legs will not leave the mat, just your right arm and your forehead is going to lift up. So we inhale, lift. Exhale, come down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Drive your legs into the mat. See what that does to your flow. Drive the left arm into the mat. And now let's add the left leg when the right side lifts. Inhale. Exhale one more time. When you release, turn your head to one side. Inhale nice and deep. Open, let it out. Come back to center, change hands. Left hand stacked on top of right, forehead rest. First, start with your legs glued to the mat, lifting the left arm. Your hand is glued to your forehead. Come on down. Inhale, lift. Yeah, exhale, lower. Now, push your legs heavy in your thighs into the mat. Push your right elbow heavy into the mat. And for these next two, lift your right leg. Just waking up the muscles along the back, bringing power and strength. And this last one, turn your head to one side. Inhale nice and deep. Open, let it out. Come back up and press into child's pose, hips towards heels. Keeping that long reach will help you find your down dog. So keeping the reach long, come forward to your knees, turn toes under and lift hips to the sky. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So our goal isn't about our heels touching the floor, it's about this big long stretch through the back of the legs. So if you need to bend your knees, bend your knees. Those of you that want to pedal your heels and walk the dog, walk the dog. But feel that deeper stretch into the Achilles and calves if you need it. And if at any time you need to come into down dog or child's pose, I invite you to do that. Let's go ahead and bend our knees, look to our thumbs, step forward to our hands into Uttanasana, forward fold. In this fold, look to your knees or your upper thighs. Really let your head and neck hang towards the mat. Then let's take a halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, halfway lift, fingers to shins. Push into those shins to flatten your back. Good. Exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up to the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart center. So as we move through this variation of our sun salutation, I'm going to take you through a kneeling version first. You're welcome to stay with kneeling, or you can make your way up to the three other variations. So let's inhale, circle up to the sun. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale to bend knees for kneeling lunge. Send your right knee back so your left knee is stacked over ankle. Exhale to those heels for child's pose, reaching long. Inhale forward to kneeling plank, chest over thumbs. Exhale to the mat, relax crocodile. Inhale, lift heart and hands to baby cobra. Good. Exhale, push back to child's pose. On an inhale, send that right foot forward. And if it lands behind your hands, grab that foot and help that foot forward, knee over ankle. Yeah, exhale, step into forward. Inhale, reverse up to the sky. Exhale to sit in chair. Good. Sweep back up to the sun. Swan dive to the earth. This time as we bend our knees, it's now the left knee going back to kneeling lunge, right knee stacked over ankle. Exhale to those heels for child's pose. Inhale forward to kneeling plank, chest over thumbs. Here's the variation. Exhale, half crocodile or all the way to the mat, relax. Inhale, cobra, hips down, elbows bent. Exhale, back to child's pose. Inhale, send your left foot forward to that kneeling lunge. Again, help that foot so knee and ankle stack. Exhale, step into fold. Inhale, reverse to the sky. When you exhale to chair, keep your chest lifted, weight is in the heels. Yes, circle back up to the sun. Another variation, swan dive to the earth. Let's bend our knees and send the right foot or knee back to lunge or kneeling. Again, knee with ankle. Exhale, down dog or child's pose. Forward to the hands, plank or kneeling. Lower, crocodile, half or relax. Scoop, up dog, cobra or baby cobra. Hinge back, down dog or child's pose. Draw your right foot forward to lunge or kneeling. Knee back over ankle. Yeah, left foot into fold. Inhale, rise to the sun. Exhale to sit in chair. Yeah, sweep back to the sun. Swan dive to the earth. On an inhale, bend knees, send the left foot or knee back to lunge or kneeling. Good, right foot back to down dog or child's pose. Forward to hands, plank or kneeling. Lower, crocodile, half or relax. Scoop to the sun. Hinge back, down dog or child's pose. Float your left foot forward. Help the foot knee with ankle for lunge or kneeling. Step the right foot into fold. Reverse up to the sky and lower to chair. We have one more variation, circle to the sun. Swan dive to the earth. As your knees bend, send your right foot or knee back to lunge, kneeling, or lift to crescent. Release down dog, child's pose, or left leg up, three-legged. Forward to the hands, lower towards the earth. Scoop to the sun. Hinge back, down dog, child's pose, or right leg up, three-legged. Sweep the right foot forward to lunge, kneeling, or rise to crescent. Release into fold. We reverse to the sun. And lower chair or balancing. Balancing is lifting those heels. Circle back to the sky. Swan dive to the earth. Let's bend our knees and send the left foot or knee back to lunge, kneeling, or rise to crescent. Release down dog, child's pose, or right leg up, three-legged. Forward to the hands, lower to the earth. Scoop to the sun. Hinge back, down dog, child's pose, or left leg up, three-legged. Float your left foot forward to lunge, kneeling, or rise. Step into your fold. Reverse to the sun. And lower chair, balancing. And you're going to take this one more time each side. So sweep to the sky and take that swan dive. And when you bend your knees, will it be lunge, kneeling, or crescent? When you release, will it be down dog, child's pose, or three-legged? Back and forward to the hands, lower to the earth, scoop to the sun, hinge back, down dog, child's pose, or right leg up, three-legged. Bring that right foot forward and rise up, release into fold. Circle to the sun, and lower chair or balancing. Last time on the left on your own. Start that sweep up. When you move to the hinge, find the pose that works for you. See if I can get a little music going. When you finish your flow, you're back up at the top of your mat. Just take a moment to stand tall in your Tadasana. Get water, use a towel, anything you need to find that ease. And you may find, because we're outside, it's a lot hotter. Make it up. Yeah, we're in hot yoga today. So it may take you where you normally aren't getting all these drinks of water and toweling off. You may have to do that more. I know I'm looking around going, where did I put my water? And of course I left it in my car because that's always the most convenient place to have your water. All right, so I want you to stand nice and tall. And as you do this, you're going to anchor into the soles of your feet. Just relax. Take a nice deep breath and let it out. As we move into Vrikshasana, tree pose, I want you to anchor into that right foot and draw the left knee out. As you open that knee out to the side, bring the sole of the foot either to the inner thigh, calf, or toe to the floor, heel to the ankle. Yeah. And then draw the hands to the heart, lifting the chest. I want you to make sure you're pressing that thumb and index finger together, activating your biceps, and then send the palms overhead. Some of us will have to keep the elbows bent. Our shoulders may feel tight. Others are going to hug those elbows towards the ears. And feel your rib cage start to lift away from your hips. Yeah. Take your release into warrior two. So as you step that left foot back, open hips and shoulders. Your foundation is important, so make sure your right foot is aiming to the right edge of your mat. Your left foot can be parallel to the back edge of the mat. Good. So our mighty warrior is drawn as sword, so those arms are long and strong and tipping from your belly button into side angle, Parsvakonasana. We take this nice long stretch, feeling yourself rooting through your feet for your power. And as we flow into reverse warrior again, from the belly button to the shoulders, we Keep bending into the right knee, but stretch to the back edge of our mat. If you need more support for your back, take your left hand to your hip. But then let's take this flow. Inhale to side angle. Exhale to reverse. Inhale to side. Exhale, reverse. I want you to take this 4 more times. Find the pace that moves with your breath. How deep do you want to take the poses? You're going to finish in reverse warrior. As you hold here, come into reverse triangle by straightening the leg. Yeah. Come into our standing archer by pulling your right toes off the floor. Scoop your left arm up and stretch the right arm away. Now make sure you're not popping this left hip up. Yeah, pull that left hip towards your right heel. And then release into a low lunge. As you windmill down, you may have to heel toe that right foot over. Pull your heart away from your tailbone. If you are not twisting, stay right here. Otherwise, bring the hands to the heart and exhale that left elbow towards the right thigh. But instead of sinking, I want you to push that right hand into the left and lift and twist those ribs. Making your way into twisting half moon, release your left hand forward. This is where you can use the block under the hand and rise up. Hips are aiming to the mat. So twisting half moon, your left leg is off the earth. Yeah. If you would like to bend your left knee, just like we did when we were in table, and grab a hold of your left foot, your hips are still aiming to the floor. Can you kick the foot into your hand? Take a release into warrior one. And as you rise up, press the palms together, look up to those thumbs or straight ahead. Yeah. Front knee bent, back leg straight. Pull both hips parallel to the front edge of your mat. As we bring our hands down to our thigh, let's straighten the leg. Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose. Slowly hinge and either stay at a flat back, release. Some of us will need our blocks though. You may have to frame your foot and use those blocks to find both legs going straight. While you're here, press the right hip back, left hip forward. And are both feet anchored to the mat, feeling equal pressure into those feet. As we bend our knee, let's set up for Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Take your hands forward of your foot to make that triangle and lift your left leg up. Either stay here and take a block under the hand or the right hand, or take your left arm to the sky. Taking a little flow here is optional. You can stay here or bend both knees to tap the heels, straighten the leg. Bend both knees and straighten. Yeah, tap the heels and straighten. One more time, tap the heels and straighten. As we make our way into curtsy squat, bring your left hand to the mat. And as both knees bend, take your left knee behind your right. And either stay here or float the right arm to the sky in a twist. Good. Sit into that right heel. Then we release and step into plank. Look about 2 to 3 feet in front of those fingers. And from here, lower to crocodile. Lift to up dog. Hinge back. Fold down dog. Inhale nice and deep. Open, let it out. All right, let's come back to the top of our mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. We're going to take the whole flow again, so inhale, rise up. And bring the hands down to your hips. I'm going to face you again. So this time, anchor into your left foot. The breeze. The one we breathe. All right. When I got in my car and it said 70, I said perfect, but you had the sun and we're like, all right, we're detoxing. So if you had adult beverages last night, this detox is going to be a lot worse for you. Anchor into your left foot and bring the left knee up. So first create that hip opener. but we're going to need this for our extended hand to big toe pose. And take your foot anywhere along the leg, but avoid the kneecap. You don't want to put pressure into that joint. And then when you're ready, bring your hands to the heart. And again, press those knuckles of your thumb and index finger together, and you'll feel the inner part of your arm, that bicep chain, light up. If you're having a windy day, we can actually blame it on the wind, right? And slowly rise the arms to the sky. Yoga feels better when we're out in nature, right? And feel yourself just lift an inch taller. And then as you float into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2, send that right foot back, open the hips and shoulders. Be mindful, some of us go sassy into this pose, so draw the right hip under your body. Just like in tree pose, you're pressing your knee open, so it is a hip opener. Yeah, good adjustment. And as we tip from our belly button, remember our hips don't move to take our side angle. So we're going to slowly tip over to that left thigh and come into side angle. Yes, good. Can you feel equal pressure into both feet? And then as we rise up and tip into reverse warrior, we stretch over that right hip. Be careful of tipping your chest forward, just like in gate stretch, right? Your hips are pulling forward, you're stretching to the side. And then if you want a power flow, inhale to side angle, exhale to reverse. To take it down a notch, your hand can go to your thigh, it can go to the hip, or you can sweep past your thigh and past your hip, but I want you to take 3 more. Are you still connected to your breath? When you finish the last one, hold in reverse warrior. Make sure your hip is pulling towards the left heel as you straighten the leg for this reverse triangle. As you come into standing archer, peel your left toes up, reach up for the wrist, and stretch deeper. Yeah, let's windmill down into a low lunge. And again, you may have to heel toe that left foot over. The option of bringing your right knee to the mat for kneeling is always there. Inhale the hands to heart for twisting prayer. Exhale, bring your right elbow towards that left thigh. And again, we have this natural tendency to sink, so press into the hands, spin your ribs a little deeper. From here, we go into twisting half moon. Release your right hand forward of your foot or grab that block and rise up. Hips are aiming to the mat. Again, just like in our warm-up when we were in table, you can bend the knee, reach for that right foot. Make sure you're not kicking it across the body. You want to keep it in line with your hip. Beautiful work. So release into Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Send that right heel down. Rise up into your mighty warrior. Front knee bent. Back leg straight. Yes, beautiful. Coming into pyramid, let's straighten the leg. Parsvottanasana, hinge over that thigh. Whether your hands stop you and you keep a flat back or you release to your shin, the blocks, or the earth is up to you. But our hips are important. Pull that left hip joint in and back while the right hip draws forward. Feel this deep, juicy stretch into that left hamstring. And as you set up for half moon, bend your knees, send your hands forward for that triangle, and lift this right leg up. Either stay with your hands on the earth or blocks, or float your right hand to the sky. Our drishti, eye gaze matters, either looking to the floor, to the side, or up to your thumb. But when we take this power flow, you might want to look to the floor as you bend the knees to tap the heels and lift back up. Bend and tap, straighten the leg. 2 more times. Yeah. And on your last one, get ready for that curtsy squat. Bring your right hand to the mat, and as both knees bend, right knee behind the left. Make sure you're not swinging your butt out to the left. Keep your hips pulling squared. And if you'd like a twist, take your left arm to the sky. Lots of twisting today. Yeah, good. Coming into plank, and either stay in plank or take your power flow. Lower to crocodile, lift to up dog, hinge back, hold down dog. What can you let go of while you're here? What will not serve you in the practice? Float your right foot off the earth for three-legged. And as you flex the foot, bend the knee, roll that hip open. Let's make our way into lizard, sending the right foot outside the right hand, bringing our left knee down. Let your hips go heavy. If you want to stay up on your hands or even use blocks, or you can take your elbows to the blocks or to the mat. Let your head and neck release. In this stretch, I need you to make sure that you have equal pressure into both elbows. We tend to load the left, so press heavy into the right. You're welcome to stay here, rise up onto your hands. Curl your right toes up and roll to the edge of your foot. And again, we can twist, swinging the right arm up and around. We can stay here or we can reach for that left foot. Make sure your right foot is more towards the right edge of your mat so your ankle is supported. Yeah. Spin the left side of your heart. Let's release and come back into three-legged dog. So you might have to walk your hands back a little bit further so you can lift into three-legged. Now let's set up for fallen triangle. Inhale, bring the right knee to the left elbow. Rise back up. Inhale to plank, right knee to left elbow. Rise back up. This time, hold the knee here and release it behind the hand for a modified version, or kick that foot outside the hand as you release and rise up. Push the floor away, pull your hips away from the mat. Yes, very good. And as you release back into three-legged, flex the foot, bend the knee, roll the hip open, and either stay in this dog or flip the dog. Lifting your hips up, arching over. Come back around into your hip opener. And as you sweep the right foot forward to crescent or high lunge, separate the feet and rise up tall. You may need your belt, but let's move into forward fold first. If you have a belt, you can take the belt to the ball of your left foot. If you don't have a belt, you can bend the knee and hold your big toe, but let's first rise up to standing and bend that left knee. You want my belt, Cheryl? No, I got it. Okay. So either holding here and extending the leg out. Remember our Utthita Hasta Panagustasana, our pose of the month, extended hand to big toe. We can hold here. We can then open the leg out to the side. And be careful when you open the leg to the side, you're not tipping the hips. You're staying tall and then extend the hand out. Still imagine you're trying to squeeze the inner thighs and then bring the leg back to center. And here's your twist. Either change hands, or those of you that can hold your foot, go to the outer blade and then extend the arm back. Think of your standing leg as a flagpole. As you come back to center, release. Inhale, sweep up to the sun. Exhale, swan dive to the earth. As you bend your knees, step or hop into plank or kneeling, and take that flow. Lower to crocodile or half, lift up dog or cobra, hinge back, hold down dog. Inhale nice and deep. Let it out. From here, float your left foot off the earth, three-legged. Flex the foot, bend the knee, let the hip roll open. And then let's meet in our lizard pose, sweeping that foot outside of our hand, releasing our right knee down. Your hips are gonna go heavy. So this is different than our Anjaneyasana, which our foot was between our hands yesterday. Today it's out to the edge of the mat. Stay up on your hands, equal pressure, or come down onto your elbows, equal pressure. But wherever you're at, let your head and neck relax. Hips heavy. We can come up onto our hands or stay down. If you want to add the twist, lift your left toes, roll to the edge of your foot. Build strength in your ankle. As we push into the right hand, circle the left arm around and stay here, or grab a hold of that right foot. But spin the right side of your heart towards your left thigh. Are you still curling your toes back, locking that knee in place of the left leg? As we release our hands, readjust your hands so you can rise back up into that hip opener. Letting your right heel relax. Inhale forward, bring the right knee or left knee to the right elbow and open back up. We're setting up for falling triangle. Come across. Open up. Come across and hold. And again, you can release your knee. But the important thing here is our foot is even with our hand if we're kicking it forward. Then rise up into fallen triangle. Yeah, good. Feel those obliques pulling you up. Little side crunch here. Come back into hip opener. And either stay here or flip the dog. You decide. Watching the clouds go by. Come back into your hip opener. And let's move into our crescent or high lunge. Sweep the left foot towards the hands and rise up. From here, step into forward fold. Now again, you can use your belt for this extended hand to big toe, but you're taking it under the right foot. And again, I'll turn and face you. We're almost done, I promise. And then rise up. You're like, I'm not meeting you outside again. Or it needs to be a shaded place. So as we stand nice and tall, we can stay right here. And if you'd like, extend the arm out. Remember, your leg, it doesn't have, some of us will be down here. And that's okay. Then we can open the leg out to the side. Again, use your left leg like a flagpole. Come back to center. And that twisting version, holding the belt or holding the outer blade of your foot and twisting. Everything is optional. As you come back to center, release. Inhale, sweep up to the sun. Exhale, swan dive to the earth. As you bend your knees, step or hop into your plank or kneeling. And from here, lower all the way to the mat. Unlock your toes. Let's stretch out our shoulders for a moment. Take your right arm out to the side. Turn your right ear to the mat. Roll onto your right hip and step that left foot over the body. Feel free to push into that left hand. Yeah. Then slowly release, come back onto your stomach. Bring the right hand in and take the left arm out to the side. Turn your left ear to the mat. Roll onto your left hip and step that foot across. Come back to center. Bring the hands under the chest and press up. Now, if you need the blocks for our hero pose, you're going to take your blocks, and I'm going to turn and face you. You can stack them behind you and then place your heels to the outside of the block and then sit on that block. If you're like, I don't need a block or two, release one or release both. But making sure if you need to take your calves and spin them out from under so you can sit, the tops of your feet are on the mat. This is really intense for the knees, so be mindful how this feels. And over time, it's a great stretch for the knees, but it may be very painful as you work your journey. Some of you will stay right here. Some of you will lean back and lift the heart. Some of you will lean back and come onto your elbows. lifting the heart, little back bend here. And some of you will release all the way. Well, let me get back on my mat. To the floor. Arms can go overhead if you're all the way back. Hands can hold your heels. Make sure your thighs are pressing to the earth. Slowly rise up. To counter this pose, we're going to meet in down dog. So make sure you take your blocks off the mat and come into down dog and pedal out those heels. And it just helps flood the body, the knees down with that oxygenated blood. As we prep for some stretches, let's lift that right foot off the earth and come into pigeon. Knee to the right, foot to the left. And as you come into this stretch, if it's not accessible, sit to the side and bring the left knee forward. If it's still not accessible, lay back, reclining pigeon. And then simply hinge forward. And either you stay on your forearms or you can release to the earth, whatever feels best. Remember, this should not be a total release. You should feel your right hip pulling back, your belly button drawing in. Let's slowly begin to rise up, walking our hands into our bodies. Sit to the side, bring the leg around. Now, as you bring this leg around, we can work this variation of cradle to baby, where you hold the back of your left knee and the arch of your foot, and you just rock and roll here. Phase 1. Phase 2 can be to send the leg out and still do the same movement. Phase 3 would be to hold your calf and your ankle. 4, elbows hold calf and ankle. Be careful of rounding your back, sit up nice and tall. And 5 would be elbows around the arch and around your knee. Oh my goodness. And hug your elbows towards each other. And then those of you that want to throw your leg behind your head, go right ahead and do that. If you're like, will my head go there? Let's see. Nope. All right, take this same leg, left, and cross it over. Now, for this twist, you can keep your foot anchored to the floor and your knee up and the right leg straight, or kick that heel, but when you set your bottom down, you got to make sure it's not on the heel. To create the space to twist, you're going to take your hand to the left thigh and shift your ribs. Then pull the arm up to the sky and bring it across and send yourself into this rotation. If you want more does not always mean better. You can bind the pose, sending your right arm through the left leg and then the arm behind to hold hands. And as you slowly release, I want you to make your way into down dog. So however you want to get into down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Let's float our left foot off the earth, setting up for Ekapada Raja Kapotasana. One leg pigeon pose, knees to the left, foot to the right. Release knees, unlock toes. And again, if you need a block, send it under the sit bone. Give that filler between the floor and you. Otherwise, fold to the earth. Drawing the left hip back, belly button in, soften your shoulders. Tell your hips to release deeper to the earth. Then walk the hands back into the body. Sit to the side and bring that leg around. Holding the arch, the back of the knee, rock and roll. So our hips tend to be the tightest parts of our body, hips, back, hamstrings. So this may be as far as you go, or you're going to extend the leg out, still rocking or holding. You can go to the calf, you can go to the elbows, or you can go around the knee and the arch of the foot. And to add on to that, you can hug your elbows towards each other. But try to stay up nice and tall, like your back is against the wall. releasing your foot across the body. And then again, either keep the leg out long, or if you're kicking the heel, make sure you're sitting on the mat. Take your right hand to your thigh, shift the ribs first, then pull yourself up to the sun, and then the elbow comes across for that spinal twist. If you're binding the pose, your left arm goes through the right leg, your right arm goes around to hold the hand. As you slowly release this twist, let's uncross the legs. Finish strong before Shavasana, right? Lift your shins, reach to your heels, and start to press the legs out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just collapse. You're done. Just relax here. Feel yourself melting. We can physically feel ourselves melting into the mat. Just allow yourself to just melt, letting everything go. If you would like the lavender oil, have your palms turned up to the sky. If you'd like me to skip you, just put your palms down to the earth. Feel this gentle breeze just blow away stress or tension. Feel your connection to the earth, allowing yourself to feel a little more grounded today. Take this feeling with you. Begin to wiggle fingers and toes. Just bring a little movement into the body. If you'd like, rub the wrists for the oil. Rub the palm of the hands to bring heat to the hands. And if you'd like, gently cup the palms over the eyes. Inhaling the scent of that oil, or just inhaling this feeling of calm and relaxation. Sending it to every cell in your body. And then if you'd like, stretch the arms over the head, that reawakening stretch, and then hug those legs into the body of love and gratitude. Slowly roll your body to the right or left and take a pause. If there is anything you need to let go of, take a moment here to inhale and sigh it out. Slowly press up into those hands to rise into easy seated. And you can bring your hands to the heart if you like. Thank you so much for coming out today and joining me. Let's all smile and finish with Namaste. I'm glad the breeze came as we were getting to the end of the classroom. We could have used it more in the middle. But thanks for coming. I appreciate it.